What's going on, y'all? This is Q Ortiz, your local San Diego massage therapist, musician, and artist. And today, I want to talk about goals. Where recently I was about to go train and do some kung fu, and I went to the training space. I had my speaker on me, and I was looking for something to play. In this process, I ended up I went back to Jim Rohn. I'm not sure if you're familiar and if I've brought him up, but Jim Rohn is that guy. He's one of those guys when it comes to the motivational speaking and the, I guess, NLP, neuro linguistic programming, where just the way he speaks and puts together his speeches is very profound. He's actually Tony Robbins' teacher. So if you know Tony Robbins, you could trace him back to Jim Rohn, and even further back as Earl Schoaf was Jim Rohn's teacher. But the way Jim Rohn speaks, man, he really makes things simple for your mind to understand. That's at least how I grasp it. One of my favorite ones is How to Take Charge of Your Life, that speech. The other one is The Best Year Ever. On YouTube, it might be The Best Life Ever, something like that. But How to Take Charge of Your Life is about 2 hours, and The Best Year it might be like 4 hours. I believe so. So I've listened to those over the years, and I just had the inclination to tap in with him, because also it helps to snap back into the motivation, snap back into the momentum, the forward moving of, okay, let me get clear. What am I doing? Let me look at my schedule here, put this together, all these tasks, because it can be a lot, especially when you have different passions. There's always something to do, and sometimes I'll need a way to clarify all the different pieces I'm working on, and just to refine the actions that I need to take in order to move each thing forward. That'll make me feel good about progressing in each category of what I work on, each passion. So I say all that to say I'm in the training space, and I look up on YouTube Jim Rohn mix, because I knew that some people put his speeches onto music. So I found this 12-minute one. Oh man, it was great, because it's from, I believe it's from the how to take charge of your life speech, and it's why I bring it up also. I think it's from that one, because there was another one that used the best year ever, and I think it used multiple speeches. But anyway, 12 minutes of potent words to really just click the mind in order of taking charge of your life, taking charge of your life. What do you want to do? And this was also in combination with some goal setting exercise that I came across recently as well. So it was kind of, everything was converging, and I could see the movement with, say, where Jim Rohn, he'll speak about reasons, where reasons, it ties into philosophy, and it's why you're doing this, why you're not doing this, where if you get enough reasons, it's basically, it's like the why. When you hear people talk about what's important is having a good why, because then it's emotionally tied to you to be able to push you to do that thing, because it's strong enough emotional leverage. That's what's said. And where without that emotional leverage, you might not do it. It might not pull you up because you don't have that the drive to do it. But when you have the reasons, and that's where we're talking about with goals, you have, okay, what goals do I want to set for myself? Whether it be I want to train this amount or train these things or record this, work on these songs, record this set, or come up with these sets. It can be any number of goals that you make for yourself. Health goals. I want to juice this amount of time. I want to have these amount of salads. I'm going to sleep this amount, or however, whatever your goals are. It's having those goals, listing the pleasure points. So if I do this, this is what I'll gain from doing this. All the reasons for doing this, or all the outcomes from doing this. This is what I'll gain. And then you make a list of all the pain points. So all the pain points. If I don't do this, I'm a slack. This will happen. I'll end up not being able to have my house or whatever the negatives can be. You just picture all of that. And when you can see that picture more clearly, it helps to move in a direction, because then you see clearly, if I don't do this, then it's going to be a problem, and I can't afford to have that problem. And you see, if you do these things, then you see what can come back. And with experimenting with this particular process and getting deeper with it, because I've done it before, but I didn't allow myself to fully just put more ideas down. I put some ideas, some pain, some pleasure, but then I limited it to the space I had. But this time it was more listing more things, just whatever came to mind. This would happen, this would happen. And I noticed a shift just in the way that I approach the goals. And it really just turned a different kind of switch on with being productive, really looking at what I'm doing. It had me questioning other tasks, and then I'll quickly do it in my mind. My goal is to write it for each thing that I do want to work on, and then I'll just have that sort of listing there. And from that, you take those things that you want to do, and then you put it on your schedule. You put it in your planner, if you have a planner, where now you're just like in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the book by Stephen Covey. It's like you're prioritizing the main things that you want to do. You block time for that. You block those on your schedule so that you are accomplishing that. It's not to where, and it's another Brendon Burchard, when you look at, he had some talk, discipline versus freedom or something like that, where when you're blocking off your, oh no, it was discipline and distraction, because it was 2 D's. So the freedom was another topic, but discipline and distraction, where you have the discipline, you have your priorities listed out, And because they're blocked off, they have their own time. The distractions, they become minimal. Where if you're not planning, if you're not really focused or have a movement, then it's easily able to be taken over by distraction, your schedule. And one of the things Brendon Burchard mentioned was time management was the most reverence you can give, something to that effect, like the highest level of gratitude or reverence to God was the way you manage your time, is how you're using your time, how you're using the gift of your time, something to that effect. And that stuck with me because you have this time, and what are you doing with it? That's why I'm even talking about goals, because I remember before I came to California, my goal was simply to come here. It was just to set foot here. I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video, but it was just to step foot in San Diego, where once I did that, that was over, right? I'm complete now, right? So from there, I went to massage school once I got here. Then got my license with the music, made my first album, and just throughout, there were more goals set to keep moving forward. And that's sort of what I'm bringing up, because I noticed personally, if I didn't have that, then it's just, there can be complacency, even though, because I think I mentioned in the video about being productive and then consuming, there is a level of contentment in existence, because you're a whole being, you are complete. So in your completeness, there's no lack in you, because you are full, you are everything. In addition, as this human being, and through our, and I'm no scientist, I'm not a scientist here, I'm just the being, not saying I'm all seeing, but I'm seeing all things in a different light is gleaming. Yeah, I'm just a being. So in this being, I'm seeing that there is the process of growth. There is this process of learning. It's constant. It's always happening. Each day, each moment, you can learn. So with that, with setting goals, it allows for you to pick up more learning. Where, say, one of your goals is to listen more, right? Just be a better listener. And if I don't listen, what'll happen if I don't listen? Right? Someone says, "Oh, don't go that way." But then I go that way. But they tell me why. They're saying, "Oh, don't go that way." And I go, "Well, why not? Why not go there?" "Oh, because this, taking in more information." Okay, that makes sense. I'm not gonna go there. Or it's like, even in that, you could see the pain and the pleasure. So the pain of not listening, you could run into there's gangs over there. Don't go that way. Don't go in between those alleys over there. Or if it's like the positive in listening is now you have this awareness and you have your safety, right? Not stepping where you don't need to be, in the middle of where you don't need to be. So, and that was just a random example. It's like on the fly. But that's a cool goal, being a better listener. I heard recently someone said that to me, where they wanted to be a better listener. And I think that that's a worthy goal to see, say, through speaking with your family. If that's something that's on your schedule and your intentions, wanting to continue speaking with family, or you're speaking with friends, or say people who follow you, and you're able to listen to them. What does that look like for you? What is the sense of listening? Is it being able to retain what they're talking about? Is it not saying anything? Just what does that look like for you? And this can apply to any goal, but we're just talking about being a better listener. Where is it looking them in their eyes? Is it just really trying to pick up what they're expressing? Does listening also include watching their body language, seeing how they're moving, their expressions, their face? And then is the process of being a good listener, is it to respond to what they're saying? Is it okay? Is it digging deeper into what they're expressing? Is it relating? Is it bringing up something, what comes up from what they're saying from your experience? Does that have to do with being a good listener? And all of this is just reflection. All of this is just thinking and working through what that process looks like with your goals. All of this is something that you create, just in the sense of, like, one goal, connecting more with God, connecting more with that which brings you forward. What does that look like? What does that look like? These are the kind of questions that you can work with your goals, just because there's a visual element to it. It's like your imagination. You can imagine, okay, I would like to be more disciplined at this, but what does that look like? How do you paint the picture of what that looks like? So I hope some of this, all of it, you were able to gain something from what I'm expressing here. I hope it was clear. One of my goals is to be able to communicate effectively. So this is a part of that expression, and also sharing of myself. So here you have it, witnessing that aspect. So if you like this video, click like. If you have any comments or any questions, drop a comment below. And if you want to continue on this journey with me, click subscribe, and we can vibe. Peace out.